Hey everyone, I'm Matt with Ozark Overland Adventures, and in this video, buried underneath all of this stuff is Bluetti's newest little ultra mini super powerful little baby power station, the new Elite 30 V2. This is a replacement for the EB3A that's been out for quite a while now, but this little booger is super cute. Look at it. Look how tiny it is. A lot of this stuff is bigger than the Elite V2. Look, here's my iPad. It is smaller width-wise and height-wise than an iPad. Check that out. But what you see up here is some of the things, a lot of the things that you can use it for. Something this small can be used for all this stuff and a lot more things. But this is kind of a good mix of things that I would take with me on one of my overlanding or camping trips that I would need extra power for. And so, you know, we've got the obvious phone and watch, iPad, powering the laptop, running Starlink Mini, heated blanket, 12 volt heated blanket, rechargeable fan, electric kettle for boiling water, game console for, you know, chilling up in the tent, rainy day or something. Got my Steam Deck there, charging, and even a 12 volt fridge. So let me give you the specs real quick. The Elite 30 V2 is a 288 watt hour power station with a 600 watt inverter. It has 4 USB ports, 2 USB-C power delivery ports, one, the fairly common now 100 watt USB-C port, and the other one here on this side is a new 140 watt USB-C port. So that is currently powering my laptop. The other one is currently powering Starlink. The fact that a little 288 watt hour power station's rocking 140 watt USB-C port is freaking awesome. It's also got your standard 12 volt port, and I don't know if you can see right underneath here are the little 5.5 millimeter barrel plugs, which operate at 8 amps. I tried to find I have an adapter that can let you, run from there into, and then plug your standard cigarette lighter stuff into it, and I couldn't find it. So that's really handy. Currently got this fridge running off of it. And, you could also plug in the electric blanket and do double duty. So super handy to have those extra ports. All right, let me clear off all this stuff real quick, and then we'll get into it. All right, well, this is it. This is it uncovered, unencumbered. This little booger right here. It's super small and portable. Now, obviously, a power station like this, it's going to be able to charge your phones. It's going to be able to, charge your fans, run your fans, run a laptop, charge radios, those sort of things. But the question is, can this do anything significant? Can it power, when needed, some higher wattage things? And the answer is yes. So, got my little electric kettle here. Now, this has a 600 watt inverter. It is pure sine. It also has power lifting mode, so you can toggle that on in the app. And what that's going to do is kind of fake up to, I think it's 1500 watts, fake higher wattage appliances. Now, I know that this pulls about 500 watts. So let's plug this in. Let's there we go. Let's turn this on, and yeah, we're pulling 493 watts to boil some water. Now, obviously, you're not going to do something like this for a long time. You're not going to be boiling water for an hour. You're going to be boiling water for 5 minutes. And then you're going to turn it off. So in this case, if we were to, this has 24% battery life left with all the stuff that I've been playing around with it on. And you can see this will last 0.1 hours, but it will last long enough to boil the water, and then you're done. So you're not running this for 30 minutes and killing half the power supply. You just need it in short bursts, and for that, this is absolutely perfect. Now, what about a higher wattage appliance? Like we'll use this heat gun for an example. This could be maybe an electric skillet or a hair dryer, but I did go ahead and plug this in because I knew running these things, I was going to be pushing it. And I know from experience this uses about 850 watts on low. And so this has a 600 watt inverter. We're going to be using that power lifting mode to make this thing run. So it's running it, but it is limiting it to 545 watts, but it is running it. So it is making very hot air. Not blowing quite as hard, but it's working. So it can pull off stuff like this. Now, you want to be careful what type of appliances that you're using that with. You don't want to do any type of electrically sensitive appliances. You're not going to run a microwave off of it. Dumb things like a hairdryer, heat gun, skillet, higher powered electric kettle than what I had here, that sort of thing. Let's take a look at the 12 volt, because the big question is, in the winter time, can it run a heated blanket like this? So let's put this on low. Let's see what it does. So on low, this is pulling 45 watts. So the math is take the rated watt hours and divide it by how much power is being pulled. So to give you, an idea of how long it's going to last. So this is 288 watt hours. There's always some efficiency. So let's say 250 watt hours. This is rated at like 95% efficiency on when running off DC. Very, very efficient. It doesn't waste a lot of juice running the DC output, that sort of thing. So I'm gonna say 250 watts. Divide that by, where are we here? 44 watts equals, on low, this still gets you 5.5 hours of runtime on a little 12 volt electric blanket like this, which is going to allow you to warm up your bed, get in it, get warm and cozy, turn it off, under the covers, everything, sleep through the night, turn it back on in the morning, get everything nice and warm and cozy again, and do it that way. For something like this, it's obviously not going to. If you're planning on sleeping, getting a full 8 hours sleep, you're going to want a bigger power station. But it can run something like this in a pinch. Let's see what this does on high. So high is only 10 watts more. So 55 watts is what this thing is pulling on high. Not a big difference. Okay, so now the question of a 12 volt fridge. How realistic is it to use a power station this size to run a 12 volt fridge? Well, obviously you're gonna get less runtime the bigger your fridge is. So we have this little 20 liter dual zone fridge from ISCO, and I just wanted to see, under ideal circumstances, how long could I power a little fridge like this? And so plug this in, fridge and everything was inside the house. Low 70s ambient temperature inside the house. Both sections here set at 34 degrees. It ran for just over 24 hours. So say I'm in a position where I'm heading to camp and this thing's running off the Jeep batteries. But when I get to camp, I want to be able to unplug it, plug it into the power station. Will I be able to do that and then get on the move the next day and plug this back into the Jeep and keep going and recharge this? The answer is yes, absolutely yes. This will absolutely get a fridge through the night. Now, like I said, if you're rocking a big 75 liter dual zone fridge and it's 90 degrees outside, you're not going to get near as far. But if it's nice, cool, the normal camping temps, and you're running a smaller fridge, you're absolutely going to be able to get through the night, you know, without any kind of worry about dealing with your starter battery. Now that we've discussed some of the things that it can power and run for you, once you've done that, what about recharging this thing? Well, this thing will recharge really 3 different ways: AC power, solar power, and of course a little DC 12-volt socket. On AC, it has 3 modes. It has a silent, a standard, which honestly are basically the same thing. They both recharge at 200 watts. So say in 3-ish hours, you'll be able to recharge this to full on standard or silent. It also has a turbo mode, which can reach up to 380 watts of input. So in right about an hour with that, you can have this thing fully recharged. Solar, it can recharge up to 200 watts. So if you've got you know, a little 100 watt panel, throw that out, get this thing recharging during the day, no problem. But I mean, at 288 watt hours, it doesn't take that long to recharge. And then it also it has the standard, you know, 12-volt socket. And with this, you can recharge it at about 90 watts through the vehicle's 12-volt socket, which would be probably realistically about 4 hours to recharge this that way. Now, let's go through just some real-world use cases for the Elite 30. All right, let's talk about really the 2 best case scenarios that I can think of for the Elite 30. And this is one of them. Maybe you have an older vehicle and it does not have all the USB ports and stuff that a modern vehicle has, and you need to charge stuff. Well, this thing is perfect for that because it does have pass-through charging. So you can take the Elite 30, plug it into the 12-volt socket. I don't know of any vehicle that doesn't come with one of those. And right now I'm charging at 104 watts. That's pretty awesome. And I need to charge my radio, and I need to have my laptop charging on the go, and I need to charge my fan for camp tonight. Oops, that is, let's see, that's my iPad. I do need to charge my iPad because when it's time to go to bed, I want to be able to watch some Netflix or some Hulu or something. And then, what's this one? There we go. And then I do need to charge my fan like that for bedtime because it's hot. And so now I am inputting 100 watts. All this stuff charging is 29 watts. Actually, my laptop's fully charged. And so I can be going down the road charging this at the same time of charging my radio and my iPad and my fan or my watch or my phone. So this is a perfect scenario for while I'm driving to just, you know, have this here, have it in the floorboard, all my stuff plugged in, and it's doing everything that I need it to do when my vehicle can't. So that's scenario number 1. And then what I think is going to be the most common use case for the Elite 30 is bringing this up into your tent. This thing is so small. You know, I'm typically in this tent by myself, so I can put this tent right here to the side. I can, you know, after I'm finished watching my TV shows or whatever, you know, plug in my iPad. I can plug in my watch when I'm going to sleep, so it's charged in the morning. May need to charge a light. Oops, there we go. I need to charge my light because I forgot to earlier, or, you know, keep my phone charged. 4 USB outputs, you know, a couple AC outputs. I can charge everything I need to in my tent, and, you know, run the electric blanket off of it. It's so small and so portable. This takes up basically no room here in my tent. I can put it down there at the feet, and it's not going to be in my way. So I think this right here is going to be the #1 use case for a power station like this, is just a little guy to bring up into your tent to keep all of your stuff charged and recharged overnight. And for that, I think this is perfect. So yeah, in your tent, camping situations, that is exactly what this little guy is perfect for. Okay, let's talk about my gripes, my issues that I have with the Elite 30. It comes with the AC power cord. It comes with the 12 volt power cord, plugs in right there, so you can charge this from your car socket. It comes with a great manual. It comes with a grounding screw, in case you need to ground it. And it does not come with the solar charging cable. It's missing. I had a reverse gripe in, I think the Elite 100. It came with the solar charging cable. It didn't come with this. Maybe that's a decision because you're more than likely just going to charge this from a 12 volt socket and not with solar. And so the solar is an accessory that you can add on. With the Elite 100, it's a bigger power station. You're more than likely going to charge it with solar and not car adapter. Maybe that's the why. Maybe it's a pricing thing. I don't know. I'm just used to, in the past, Bluetti including all 3 cables, and now it's not. So, I mean, for me personally, I probably would never charge with the solar. I would just charge it while I'm on the go and use this. But some people may want solar. So it's an add-on because reasons. Now, the best thing about the Elite 30 is its price. It just released, and so right now it is $199. So just sub $200 for a 288 watt hour power station. Great deal. I think I calculated it at 68 cents per watt hour. So fantastic bargain for a little bitty guy like this. And there's just some use cases where this makes a lot more sense than a bigger 1,000 watt hour or 2,000 watt hour power station that you have to lug around, takes up a lot of space. Sometimes this is all you need. Anyway, I hope this review was helpful. I like this little guy. I think I will be taking this on some of my trips. Just to have, in case I need to have power away from my vehicle, have it at a picnic table, whatever. This little dude is just handy. So anyway, I hope this was helpful. If you would, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel. If you're not, and double check and make sure you're subscribed. And you can subscribe on a television. You just got to maneuver the little icons around. And if you like what we're doing and you want to consider supporting the channel, check out the Patreon link in the description or right here on the QR code. And for all of our merchandise, go to shopoverlandapparel.com. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.